Hello everyone, CM Freeze here, and today I'm going to be doing an Atlanta Falcons mock draft. And by that what I mean is I'm only going to be picking for the Falcons, going through all 7 of their draft picks, and doing what I believe, not what I want, but what I believe the Atlanta Falcons are going to do with their draft this season. So I'm doing this before free agency starts. Free agency is going to kick off here in less than a week now, and knowing what's going to happen in free agency is obviously going to make these mock drafts a lot easier. So right now I'm going in blind without knowing what the Falcons free agency plans are. So I'm just going to kind of guess and do what I personally believe Atlanta is going to do based on what the knowledge that I currently know and from all the reports that have come out from them. First thing I would like to say is, who do I think the Falcons are going to pick up in free agency? So there's a lot of good free agents, and how it is right now on March 9th, I believe the Falcons are going to sign Kirk Cousins. Out of all the options that the Falcons have at quarterback, I think that Kirk Cousins is the option that they are going to go with. The Falcons have come out and said that quarterback is their biggest position of need and that they desperately need a quarterback. And looking at all the options that they have, whether that be trading up for a quarterback or trading for Justin Fields, I honestly think if they wanted to trade for two things. One, if they wanted to trade for Justin Fields, they would have. And two, something that Falcons fans don't understand is that the Falcons have had so many options to acquire Justin Fields, and they haven't. Remember, a couple years ago, the Falcons could have drafted Justin Fields, and they passed on him. Last year, Justin Fields was in trade rumors, and the Falcons could have traded for Justin Fields and didn't. The Falcons have had multiple opportunities to acquire Justin Fields and have not taken them. Why do you think this time is any different? Everyone's just linked Justin Fields to the Falcons because he went to Georgia, and that's about it. There is no other, and because the Falcons need a quarterback. There's been no links. There have been no reports coming out and saying that Justin Fields and the Falcons have been talking and trade talks have been going on. Or I think a report came out and said that they maybe called them and talked about it, but it's stalled. It's going nowhere. I don't think the Falcons are going to trade for Justin Fields. I'm being honest when I say that. I also don't think they're going to trade up because I think the price to trade up is going to be way too high. The Bears are going to take Caleb Williams at 1. The Patriots are going to take a quarterback at 3. The only team that I think would potentially maybe trade down would be the Commanders at 2, but the price to trade up to 2 would be 3 first-round picks that the Falcons need. And I think just the asking price to trade up is way too high for Atlanta. So what would you rather do? Give away your entire future to draft a rookie quarterback? Or if you are right now in win now mode, if you're Atlanta, if you're saying, hey, the NFC South is wide open. The NFC South is trash. Panthers, trash. Saints, salary cap hell. The Buccaneers are your only legit, threat to the NFC South, but they went 8-9 and 9-8 the last 2 seasons. You just got to get double-digit wins if you're the Falcons. And with the guys that they've brought in, I think Kirk Cousins makes the most sense. He's coming off statistically one of his best seasons. Yes, he's 38. Yes, he has an injury and a torn Achilles. But in today's age, all the time people say, oh, this player's coming off an injury. With the medical advances of today's age, very rarely do you see an injury actually harm a player going into the future. Look at all these guys that have gotten hurt that just instantly come back. Justin Jefferson, for starters, he got hurt. He came back. I look at the Mark Andrews injury. Dude, his leg got completely fucked up, and he was able to come back. He's an older player. I don't know. Just in today's day and age, I think that players are going to play. I think Kirk Cousins more than ever wants to go to a team that he believes that he can contend. And I think the Falcons are the best available quarterback-needy team to put you in a position to win. There's mutual interest. I believe that we sign Kirk Cousins as our quarterback. Then if you look at the rest of free agency here, there are some good defensive linemen. If you go over to the Atlanta Falcons depth chart here, Calais Campbell, walking. We also have Bud Dupree walking. So the Falcons' 2 biggest leaders in sacks are gone. The Falcons need edge help bad. We will have Grady Jarrett and we'll have David Amanyana. We'll also have Arnold Ebiketie, but You really want Lorenzo Carter starting for you here? And I mean, Zach Harrison played good ball too. Zach Harrison can slide in and replace Calais Campbell, but we need a big-time edge rusher. We need a big-time edge rusher. That is a big need for us. Also, if you look at corner, we have AJ Terrell, who's an excellent corner one. We have Clark Phillips, who is developing really nicely as a slot corner. But Jeff Okudah, he's walking. I mean, do you really trust Trey Flowers and D. Alfred? I sure as hell don't. And that's why I honestly believe right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Atlanta Falcons trade their second-round pick to the Chiefs for Ladarius Sneed. Ladarius Sneed is a phenomenal CB1 for the Chiefs, and the Chiefs need cap because they really want to re-sign Chris Jones, and it's coming out and saying that a second-round pick is going to be the price to get Ladarius Sneed on the franchise tag. I honestly think in free agency what the Falcons do is they sign Kirk Cousins to a big contract, and then they trade for Ladarius Sneed with their second-round pick, and that basically is going to eat up all their cap. Besides, obviously, you need to fill out the roster. So their big two, I think, signings, and what the Falcons are going to do, is get Kirk Cousins and use their second-round pick for Ladarius Sneed. AJ Terrell is on his fifth-year option. He's going to be playing under his fifth-year option this season. And Ladarius Sneed's going to be playing under the franchise tag. One of those two guys are going to bound to work out. If you're Atlanta, play them as on the opposite ends of one another and play Clark Phillips in the slot. That could be an absolutely deadly secondary corner there, or corner trio there. And then at the end of the season, if one of them played better than the other, pay them. If both of them played really well and you loved both the corner play, pay them. I think if you're Atlanta, trading a second-round pick for a CB1 on a team that already has a CB1 and just being able to have two phenomenal CBs with AJ Terrell and Ladarius Sneed being side-to-side with one another, I think the Falcons are going to do it. I think that they understand that they need secondary help, and getting Ladarius Sneed instantly makes that secondary so much stronger, not to mention that they already had Jesse Bates as well. So now that we've established that I think the Falcons in this mock draft 1.0, before free agency, what I think they're doing is getting Kirk Cousins, and they are trading away their second round pick for Ladarius Sneed. That means that here, it's either going to be edge rusher or wide receiver. I've seen a lot of people say that the Falcons are morons for wanting to take Rome Odunze here at pick 8. I don't disagree. The Falcons have Drake London, phenomenal wide receiver 1. And they have Kyle Pitts, who in Kyle Pitts' first season put up 1,000 yards and looked great. And now in his last 2 seasons, it hasn't entirely been what you have wanted to see out of Kyle Pitts. He's hasn't looked as dominant as he did in year 1. And you might be saying to yourself, that's completely on quarterback play. He had Matt Ryan his first year. And you know what? That's completely true as well. But Kyle Pitts is a good tight end. So you look at the Falcons' weapons, and you have a wide receiver 1 in Drake London and a good tight end in Kyle Pitts. And then you have Bijan Robinson. But besides that, you don't really have a lot of targets. And with the free agent wide receiver class, this free agent wide receiver class is not that strong. The headline of it is Calvin Ridley. I can promise you we're not bringing back Calvin Ridley. The next best option is Hollywood Brown. That could be an option that we sign in free agency. I've also seen Tyler Boyd as an option that has been linked up to the Falcons, and he fits along with Zach Robinson's scheme. But like I said, we're not going to have that much cap money if we're signing Kirk Cousins to a big contract and then trading for Ladarius Sneed. That's where all of our cap is. So are we going to have the money to sign a big-time edge rusher or a big-time wide receiver? I don't know. And this is either going to be Rome Odunze, or I personally believe that this is going to be... Oh, Dallas Turner went second overall. Okay, well, that's not happening. I'm going to fucking restart this because Dallas Turner is who I'm going to have the Falcons draft here. Dallas Turner's not going second overall. I'm going to have the Atlanta Falcons draft Dallas Turner at pick 8 here. That's what I'm going to do. We got quarterback and we got cornerback. Our two biggest positions of need are edge rusher and wide receiver. And with the amount of money that we have left, I don't think we're going to have the money to be able to go out and sign a big-time edge rusher. We're not going to be able to get Danielle Hunter. We're not going to be able to get Chase Young even. I don't think the Falcons are going to have the cap space if they do sign Kirk Cousins and trade for Ladarius Sneed to then go get a premium edge rusher. why not draft one at 8 in Dallas Turner? Dallas Turner is only 21 years old and already has 3 years of experience under his belt at Bama. This last year, he looked so damn good. Dallas Turner is so explosive off the edge. He is great at setting the edge too. He's phenomenal in the run game. I've seen a lot of people saying they want Jared Verse at 8, and I wouldn't be upset if we go Jared Verse over Dallas Turner, but I would prefer Dallas Turner mainly because, one, he's 2 years younger. He's 21 over Jared Verse, who is 23. Age is a big thing. And also, while Jared Verse has more sacks than Dallas Turner does, I think Dallas Turner has more explosive potential off the edge. He's better at setting the edge than Jared Verse is, and thus he will be better to help with our interior guys. Think about Grady Jarrett on the inside. If you have an explosive guy on the outside, like Dallas Turner, he can instantly set the edge, force the running back to cut back inside where Grady Jarrett and Onyemata are waiting for him. I think that's something that the Falcons haven't really had, is someone that's able to set the edge in a very long time. Arnold Ebiketie, he has great pass rush potential, great spin moves, but Dallas Turner's just much more explosive, and he's younger. Why not get a 21-year-old edge rusher who's going to be a lot cheaper than the edge rushers on the market, mind you, and develop him to truly be an edge one for you? Atlanta Falcons fans know we have needed edge rusher for such a long time. We've needed edge rusher so damn badly. And finally now we get the edge rusher that we've wanted at 8. Develop him, and he could truly be an absolute freak of nature off the edge for us. Like I said, our second round pick here is going to Kansas City. So here's the Atlanta Falcons going into round 3. And what have we given them? We given them Kirk Cousins with the quarterback. We've given them Dallas Turner with an edge rusher. Ladarius Sneed with a corner. Biggest need that the Falcons have is wide receiver. And with the wide receivers that are on the draft board, do I think Tez Walker is going to fall all the way down to 74? He could, because this is such a deep wide receiver draft class that he could honestly fall down there. But with how the board has looked, with how this board is, I honestly think Ramon Wilson or Tez Walker would be the pick here for Atlanta. And I'm just going to give him Ramon Wilson, mainly because, one, he went to Michigan, so he knows what it's like to play for a winning team, and he's just very explosive, and he's got great speed. The Falcons have, and he would complement Drake London very well. Drake London's a big go-up-and-get-it kind of wide receiver. Ramon Wilson, he's only 5'10". He's more of a beat you with his route running and his speed kind of guy. So he would just complement Drake London so well. And here now with our next third round pick that we get from Jacksonville, I honestly don't even hate us doubling down on wide receiver. With the third round pick, what I'm going to do is Atlanta could draft so many things. So many things here with the third round pick. And Tez Walker's still here. But there's also Javon Bullard from Georgia, and there's so many safeties, though, that are in this draft, or not this draft class, in this free agency class. So many safeties have been cut. And this safety market, we might have the money to be able to pick up a safety. We still have Richie Grant. He's been okay. You would like to see a lot more out of Richie Grant. Hasn't really been exactly what you've wanted to see. So here at pick, and with our other third round pick, Tez Walker is still on the board. I'm going to draft him to Atlanta, and I'm going to double down on wide receiver. Now, we could also go out and sign Tyler Boyd in free agency, but our wide receiver room, we have Drake London and nobody else after that. And Tez Walker would be a really good pickup for the Atlanta Falcons in the third round if he drops because he had a bad pro day. You know, his hands weren't the best. But we already are able to get Ramon Wilson. So getting 2 wide receivers in the third round just could bolster the Atlanta Falcons offense. And now here in the fourth round, I'm going to draft him Mason Smith out of LSU. If he's still on the board, that would be a great steal for them in the fourth round. Mason Smith is just a massive D tackle. Now, Grady Jarrett, as we all know, he's more of an undersized D tackle, but he's getting older, and so is Onyemata. So having a third D tackle that can sit behind them and rotate in and just eat up blocks while we have, like I said, Dallas Turner and Arnold Ebiketie and Grady Jarrett on the inside, that's just going to be such a dominant force for the Atlanta Falcons. So now, here with our fifth round pick, honestly, at this point, you're mostly just going for depth. And the Falcons, they can do a lot of things here. Offensive line depth is always important, and we don't need a backup center, though. That's what Tanner is out of Wisconsin, or Bodolani. Layden Robinson here out of Texas A&M. He's a pretty good guard. I also like Zach Sinter. He was a good guard out of Michigan. And I think I'm going to go with... We don't really need a guard, though. See, this is the point now where we've gotten to. You can just kind of do depth. And here in the 5th round, I'm actually going to go with Eric All out of Iowa. Iowa is tight end university. We just cut Jonnu Smith. We need a backup tight end. He's someone that can get more reps, even more targets for Kirk Cousins. In Iowa, he wasn't as good as some of his Iowa predecessors like Isaiah Hawkinson, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, Noah Fant. But we need a backup tight end, and just where we are there in the 5th round, I believe that's very good value for him. And now with our last pick here in the 6th round, I'm going to go with Trey Taylor out of Air Force. He was one of the better players on that Air Force team. You don't really see a lot of people from Navy or Air Force getting drafted, and that shows you just how good he is, that he was there in the 6th round. And why we don't have 2 6th-round picks? The fuck? Did I miss something? I don't know what I missed, actually. This pick here, 186, we don't have. We only have pick 196. So let's just pretend we don't even have this draft pick. Well, at 196, we drafted Trey Taylor out of Air Force. So that is going to be the draft here for the Atlanta Falcons. We don't even have this last one, so just fucking draft a random player. To disregard this Dylan pick here, these are the 6 guys that I went for. We got Dallas Turner with our 1st round pick. Traded our 2nd round pick for Ladarius Sneed. Both of our 3rd round picks that we've had from our 1st round pick and from the Jaguars 3rd round pick that we got for trading Calvin Ridley, I went with Ramon Wilson and Tez Walker. 4th round, we went with Mason Smith. 5th round, we went with Eric All. And then with the 6th round, we got Trey Taylor. I would be really happy with this draft. Especially if you look at our team, we rounded out. We have Kirk Cousins now at quarterback, wide receiver. We have Drake London. Maybe we get another wide receiver in free agency like Tyler Boyd if he wants to come on a cheaper contract. Ramon Wilson and Tez Walker as wide receivers 3 and 4. Still got Kyle Pitts. We can now have Eric All back and Kyle Pitts up. And then defensively, now we got Dallas Turner on the edge, along with Grady Jarrett and David Umanu. And I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong. It's like Umenewu, David Umenewu or something. Then Mazen Smith, he can be a good tight defensive tackle 3 for us there. Cornerback group, AJ Terrell, Ladarius Sneed, Clark Phillips, one of the deadliest secondaries there in the league, along with Jesse Bates. Richie Grant, we'll see if he can develop. Like I said, this is a really good free agency draft class for safeties, so maybe we do get someone like Jordan Poyer in free agency. You never know. I'll be doing another draft like this after free agency comes out. We'll see where my predictions are right. We'll see if I'm right on Kirk Cousins. We'll see if I'm right on Ladavius Sneed. Tyler Boyd's been a name I keep on hearing coming to the Atlanta Falcons, so maybe we get Tyler Boyd as well. Those are the 3 guys that I've constantly been hearing linked up with Atlanta. So anyways, guys, please let me know if I'm dumb. Let me know if you agree with this. Like I said, this is before the free agency, so I'm just completely guessing here. I'm taking a shot in the dark, but let me know if I'm dumb or not. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.